So if I'm somebody who've never heard of toxic ingredients and I haven't switched anything in my house, I'd probably start with oral health because that's where we're absorbed and it goes like straight into our bloodstream. So I would first look into my dental things, so like my mouthwash, your toothpaste, and I would that would be my first thing that I would change. And then I would go into obviously what I eat and get rid of like processed foods and then skincare and your other body care and your routines.
Hi there. Welcome to the Lifestyle Herbalist podcast, where we hope to bring you a healthy dose of happiness. I'm your host, Dabney Vaccaro, clinical herbalist, health coach, lover of plants.
And I'm Sabrina Cooper, registered culinary holistic nutritionist and herbalist. Join us as we dive into the art of herbalism, mindfulness, and healthy lifestyle practices to help you achieve a happier and healthier life. Whether you're a seasoned herbalist or just starting your wellness journey, we're here to provide you with the insights, tips, and inspiration for a more balanced and joyful existence. So grab your favorite herbal tea, sit back, and let's get a healthy dose of happiness together.
Hi, welcome back to the Lifestyle Herbalist. We are here today with Irina. She is my esthetician and she is absolutely fabulous. And we thought it would be a great time to have Irina here to tell us about ways that we should care for our face and our skin, particularly as we're getting older. You know, when we're younger, we don't always do all the things we should do. And then we start with sun damage and premature aging. And so Irina is here to help us maybe correct some of those things that we did when we were younger and maybe give us some tips on how to age more gracefully. Hi, Irina.
Hi, Dabney and Sabrina. This is so nice to be on a podcast and talk about
Welcome.
more beauty with you ladies.
We
Yeah,
all want to know how we can beautify and make us even look younger as we get aged.
Right? The ultimate question.
great. And
Exactly.
people always say, oh, I never put anything on social media unless I use a filter. But I would like to, and I wish I knew how to use social media better so I could use a filter. I think I probably could use one, but I haven't figured it out yet. So right now it is what you get. What you see is what you get.
See, my philosophy on that, like you earn your wrinkles. Yes, we could work on softening them. We can make sure you age gracefully, but you don't want to like this is your wisdom on your face. This is your life experiences. You don't want to filter and like erase all of that. I feel like you sometimes earn that wisdom.
And
I
you also don't want to see people in real life and then they say, "Oh, you look so much different online," because it's not real, right? It's not the reality. So we need to show people what it is, like what the reality is when it comes to aging, because it's hard. Like when you see somebody now with wrinkles, those nice, beautiful wrinkles, you're like, "Ooh, they look so old." But that's like, just let's find ways to, like you said, soften and make it look more graceful. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? We all go through it. So.
Abs Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that you say that because I talk with a lot of women who are trying to do things differently, trying to stop the aging process. And even with menopause, like they're wanting to take prescriptions and different things, and I was like, this is a rite of passage. Like menopause is we're pausing things that used to go on in our life. And so we're recalibrating and shedding all of those things that we used to do, but no longer need to do. And it's almost like you're emerging as a new person in your chrysalis. So aging is part of the process and why we work so hard to try and stop it. It really causes more stress and probably more wrinkles, right?
Absolutely stress and increase your cortisol levels, and there you go. There's your aging.
Yeah. Well,
Inflammation.
let's start with how you began your journey as an esthetician. What inspired you?
So I've had withSimplicity, the product side, a company um, for 10 years now, and about 4 years ago, I decided to go back to school to get my master's in aesthetics. The reason mainly because I wanted to go and get facials, and I didn't have somewhere where I could go and not like bring my products and have them use that because I have super, super sensitive or like reactive skin. Like anything new that I introduce, like I'll break out or I'll have something. So I couldn't go to like a spa and get a facial. And I love like facials and services. And then also like I was at that point approaching 40s. Now I am in my 40s. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to age gracefully. I don't want to look like 60 in my 40s without going into like harsh procedures or anything with Botox chemically. And one of the things I was uh, interested is a massage and like muscle work, fascia and lymph work. And I just learned a lot more just for myself at that time. And I just loved that route of aging and like how we could not slow down in a way and kind of gracefully and naturally age. And I was trying to find an esthetician locally. I did find somebody who had similar values and did like buccal massage in DC. And I did go and travel there 2 hours to get a facial, and I couldn't find somebody local. So I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm gonna go for it and do it. So kind of my own problems inspired me to go back to school and learn so I could do it to myself and teach others so I could get a facial.
I
Right.
love that because it's like a lot what we do. Like, I mean, I think Dabney and I have the same when it was coming to nutrition and herbalists, and you kind of have that interest. It sparks you, you want to learn more. So you kind of go, what, like, you want to heal yourself and you want to work with these different things, and you kind of go, what can I do? Like, I'm going to study this and learn more and get something out of it and help others, right, on their journey. So it's kind of nice that
Mhm.
that's like a commonality on how you got started as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, easy rabbit hole once you start, and there's so much to learn.
That's
Oh, and
right.
I don't think I knew that you had started with Simplicity, which is your line of products. I didn't realize you had started that prior to being an esthetician. I thought you were an esthetician who were just maybe fed up with some of the products that you were only allowed to use or could use, and so you created your own. So that's really interesting. So I'm interested to know how you got started in creating your own line.
Okay, so that started, well, officially 10 years ago, but I had my third child who's 11 now. I quit my full-time job and I was going through like this detox. I feel like I always kind of had a cleaner lifestyle, but when you're pregnant and having children and babies, like I feel like you go through this nesting process and detoxing. And my husband kept on saying, like, you're not dying, we're just having a baby. Because I was just like prepping, like I was getting rid of things and like different cleaners and soaps and bringing in like organic things for the baby, diapers, and kind of going through all of that. And then I struggled with my own insecurities at that time and like going through pregnancies and your hormones and like gaining weight. So makeup was always, even when I was in middle school, was a way for me like to have that confidence. And I did it for myself. Like something at 14, me putting that mascara gave me all the confidence I needed in the world. And then like same thing with like being pregnant. I really enjoyed like still wearing makeup, and I never wore crazy makeup, and super, bold or whatever, but just like a little bit to enhance my features. And I did not realize that things on the shelves and at the store doesn't mean that they're actually safe and that they're actually good for you. And I start looking into some of my skincare and makeup ingredients, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I have my baby around, and all of my kids like had the thing, especially when they were teething, they would like if I hold them close to my face, they would like want to nibble on my chin or something, or they would like kisses, and like that grossed me out. And I'm like, I still want to wear makeup and have skincare without having like, but I don't want to tell my kids like, no, 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 mommy has like makeup on, or I
And
have,
it's toxic makeup, so don't touch.
yep, don't touch me, right? So and I'm like, wait, like I just never thought about it until that point, really. Um, so I started looking into it, and a decade ago, it was really hard to find anything more holistic, more natural, that's something that's good for you. Now I feel like we have, you could find something for anybody, but like I said, when I started, which was over a decade ago, like I couldn't find something that like was simple ingredients, it was effective and made me feel good and like makeup stayed on. So that's when I started learning more about natural skincare and makeup. And then I did some schoolings, organic science and formulations. And that's how the journey of like skincare and makeup started. I've learned more of the science in formulating the products. And then later, I think I was about 7-ish years into my business where I went back for a master's to in my aesthetics.
Wow, what a
Mhm.
journey.
Oh yeah.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so what does the organics and natural skincare products, how do they help enhance skin versus the ones that may not be organic? Because there's a lot of products out there that promote themselves as being good for you, green and natural, but when you look between the lines, it's not really what they're advertising. How does that affect our skin?
So what you're talking about is greenwashing. So when the
Mhm.
ad became
Right.
like a trend, every single company decided to change their bottles with more green on it or more holistic looking, not necessarily changing their formulas, but I feel like it with internet and people became very savvy and researching and like we got so much more information in the last couple years and consumers are becoming smarter. So it's harder to greenwash, if you will. So, and nature is amazing, as you both know. Like, you
Mm.
could find anything for any condition, any problem in nature, and I feel like it's powerful. And looking for, at the end of the day, ingredients. Like, I always stay away for anything, any product that would say fragrance. That's one of the huge allergens and irritants for the skin. So anything with like artificial fragrance that's not like your essential oil. Then you want to look at like the colorants, like are they minerals, are they botanical, or are they petroleum based or some like something that's going to irritate your skin. You want to avoid parabens. And so that's when you're going to go look and how it's preserved. And that will affect your hormone and hormone levels. So it's learning the ingredients and like looking in the back and what's really in the product that you're buying.
So what things should we be looking for in our products?
Well, it will depend on your age, your
Mhm.
skin condition. There's not like a one fits all product. And then you depending on your age and your condition, and I think one of the things like hormones, where you're at, it will determine what you would be looking for. One thing, before you could do anything, before you could get to aging or inflammation, you want to make sure your skin is hydrated. So anything with like hyaluronic acid with humectants that will hydrate your skin. Drinking water is amazing, but by the time it gets to our skin, all the organs get it. Like you get zero point zero 0.00 drop of water, really. So like looking for products that have humectants like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, or honey, those are like my top favorites to look for in a product. And that's for all ages.
So how do you determine, I mean, when you're sitting there or somebody's coming to you and asking you for recommendations, what
Mhm.
questions do you ask your potential client or your customer who's looking to maybe age more gracefully?
So
How do you determine that?
definitely double like checking their skin, see what kind of skin they have, if it's, oily, normal, if it's
Mhm.
um, conditions like the dryness in it, and then going from there, depending if they have like rosacea, if they have eczema, do they have acne, and then starting from there and then determining. So if somebody who is on might be on their period at that time, their androgen is like really high, so they might be breaking out. So you want something with like tea tree or something that's a little bit more anti-inflammatory. Somebody with like menopause, you have your low estrogen levels, so you're going to be more dry, loss of elasticity. So you want something with more peptides in it, like rosehip, hibiscus,
Mhm.
sunflower oil, more vitamin A. Pregnancy, you want something that's a little bit more nourishing, but also gentle on the skin. Somebody with acne, you want something anti-inflammatory because acne is inflammation in your body. So those are just like four, I guess, common ones.
Yeah, and I love that you use those essential oils. And plus they
Oh
smell
yeah.
amazing. Like I've used with Simplicity and the products all just smell so heavenly. And they just really, they're nice. They go on well, and people make comments about my complexion all the time.
Oh, I love that. And I've been seeing you for quite a bit, so this is like a thanks. It's a good compliment.
Yeah,
Your skin
yeah.
is beautiful.
Do you ship your products like, or do you, yep. Okay.
We ship in United States and Canada, so you
Nice.
could get our products in Canada too. So just
Mhm.
those two countries for now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so with Simplicity, her business, she uses, of course, her products in her services that she has, and yeah, they're all amazing. And so, when you walk out after feeling just uplifted and beautiful, you can take some home to continue your
Hmm.
regimen. Yeah,
Because
it's
that's
great.
just as important, right? Like you can go for a treatment, but you need to follow up. And it's like anything, you can't just expect your skin to look beautiful after a facial or some sort of treatment. You have to use the proper products to continue on with the therapy and healing of your skin, right?
Yeah, and I always say like beauty is equals time. Like you're
Yeah.
going to have to put in time. You're not gonna come in, yeah, we'll look good for a few days, but unfortunately then we have our pollution, we have all of these things that are working against us. So beauty, it really is equals time and putting in the time and effort into it.
Yeah, so sometimes it can be real easy to get lax in caring for the skin. Um, I know some, like, it's easy to, like, if you take a bath or shower, to get it done then, but typically I think twice a day. Like, tell us the routine that we that you would recommend. What are some points that we should be doing every day to help our skin look healthier and more glowing?
And I always say like you don't want to overcomplicate it. If I'm gonna give you 12 steps, you won't do any of them. So I try to make it like simple for you and so you are consistent with it. I like to do like a whole nice routine and it's more of a ritual at this point before I go to bed. And this is when I cleanse and I do after work I come home, hop in the shower, cleanse my face. Once or twice a week I'll do a mask with it just to kind of give me a little bit extra exfoliation. Then you wanna tone. So in toner, people have misconception about a toner. So toner is to level your pH of your skin. Our skin is a little bit more acidic. Our body loves to be alkaline, but our skin likes to be acidic. Water comes at pH 7. That's just like a normal tap water. Our skin is between 4.5 and 5.5 in pH. So even if you took a shower, you strip that acidic barrier that protects your acid mantle. And that's like where your rosacea, any environmental breakouts are very susceptible to it. So you need that acidity to protect your skin and also helps any products that you layer from then on will absorb a lot better. So you want to use a little bit of a toner, and then you would use a lighter serum and a moisturizer. So cleanse, tone, moisturize. Like if you could get that, that will have a beautiful pH balance, hopefully very nourishing products that you're using that's good for microbiome of your skin and like simple. And then you could add uh, something if you're breaking out, maybe you could add like something for that. We have a little breakout, little drops you could put on for under eyes. It's a separate roller, and we're actually coming out with a beautiful gel here soon for under eyes. Um, and then like any spritzes or anything that you would use. But if I could get every person on um, washing their face, toning and moisturizing, that would be amazing. And for the daytime, you want to make sure you wear your SPF because our vitamin C is crucial for our collagen and elasticity. And every time you come out outside, you lose about 30% of your vitamin C, which then slows down your collagen production. So you want to make sure you wear your SPF and you do have a rich vitamin C diet and intake that just to help your age and your collagen production and elasticity.
I didn't know that about the vitamin C. And I know
Mhm.
vitamin C, certainly in the dental realm, like we recommend that because it helps with gum health as well. And yeah, it's so amazing how it all ties in
Yeah.
together.
Do you
And
hear sometimes when people go like on vacation, they're like, every time I come back from vacation, I get sick, and they blame like airlines or germs or whatever not. Most of the time, you sit on the beach and you're eating like foods that are probably very low in vitamin C. They're probably not as healthy. You might incorporate alcohol on your vacation, so your vitamin C drops very, very low, and you're on the sun all day, and then your immunity goes down versus. So you want to be high on vitamin C when you're traveling, especially if you're
oh,
going to some Hawaii or some sunny place.
yeah. Wow,
Wow.
it's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't put that
Mhm.
correlation together. And I'm glad that you mentioned toner because I think I know I never used toner. Like it wasn't until I started seeing you that you said something about a toner. And I was like, what is that? And why do I need it?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, yeah, it makes perfect sense. pH it matters. It matters in the oral cavity, as hygienists and dental people,
Mhm.
it matters for all parts of our body, not just, just not our oral environment.
And also with our toners, and probably any toner you buy, you would want to, I mean, they all do the same thing. So they will all level your pH, but then like we do add extra benefits. So our Pro H has hibiscus, which is your rich in alpha hydroxy acid, which is really good for cell turnover and like um, chemical exfoliation through the day. So you're kind of getting like a double one, two for one.
Good.
Lovely.
Really good.
hmm
And SPF, when you talk SPF, I think a lot of people have this question. I always wonder, is there a minimum or a maximum? Because you see SPF 50, and then there's people who say 30. Is it best to use, is like one
So
better than the other? Do you need 50? I mean, I guess it depends on your skin if you're very fair, but I just was, SPF's a big one, I think, for people that they're not sure or like spend the money for better, or what should we look for in an SPF or
yeah,
not look for?
so you definitely don't want a chemical SPF because it absorbs and breaks down the rays. You want something that's a mineral SPF and it kind of bounces off without letting the rays go actually into you. So look for mineral. You want like zinc oxide, titanium dioxide as active ingredients in SPF. I could tell you what I personally use, and that in the winter time, my SPF is about 15. We also live in Virginia. I don't live, in Mexico or Florida, so it's usually pretty low. So, and that I get from our makeup. So I would have active ingredients, and then for the summer I do use SPF 30 if I'm going like to the beach or to the lake. And I feel like with SPF, the higher it gets, it's not exactly the percentage of it, how much it covers doesn't change as much. So there's not a huge difference between like SPF 30 and SPF 50.
Right.
When I go on vacation, like I do have SPF 70 that I wear. So if I'm gonna go to like, Florida or Mexico or somewhere, I will wear like a little bit higher SPF, but I'm also a little bit paranoid about my sun damage. Sun damage is number one, like damage for like aging and dehydrating our skin. So if I'm on vacation, I will wear SPF and come back still looking like a ghost.
Yeah, I have a cousin who has porcelain looking skin, and it's because she always wears long sleeves. She always wears a hat. She'll sit in the sun, but under like an umbrella and is fully protected because she really cares about her skin and she's really trying to not have aging wrinkles, just from the sun. I mean, the appropriate aging wrinkles is fine, but she's not trying to add on to them.
Yeah. And even sitting like under umbrella and stuff, you're still getting UV and like you're still getting your vitamin D. And vitamin D actually absorbs like our décolleté area on their chest. So like you do want to expose this area to um your chest area to absorb. This is where we absorb the most vitamin D. So you definitely want to do that, but you want to be protective and not burn your skin and have low immune system.
I wish people told me about SPF way back when. I mean, I'm half Mexican, so I do have some sort of, but I feel like I did get a lot of skin damage on my face. Like I do have some sunspots coming out now. I never did before. but I feel like I never really paid attention to, the proper sunscreen. I may put it on, but you don't really think about it when you're younger, And I think nowadays, girls and men and everybody is more paying more attention to wearing SPF and wearing like sunscreen and protecting their skin, which is really nice to see, because we didn't really have that
Mm-mm.
information, how important it was, right? Like, I mean, even the generation before us, I know people used to have like the screens that they would wear reflective so that they could get sun and get color on their skin. It's interesting that now we're all like trying to be like ghosts. And I mean, I came back from holidays and I was really dark, but I put the SPF every day and everything, and I still got the color where some people go and I'm like, how do they stay so like without suntan? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't happen for me. I put it on, I wear a hat, I try to stay out of the sun, and I mean, it just happens. And people are like, you're so dark. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just my skin color happens. It pulls it out. I don't know. But if you have tips, I'll talk to you after about that.
Well, sun is good for us. Like, I don't want people to be afraid of the sun. Sun is like a crucial part of our being and being alive, and even for the skin, your vitamin D. But it's just being protective and being mindful. I think on your weather app now, it actually tells you every day, like what the rays
Mhm.
are. So you could, yeah, UV rays. So you could double check that. Yes, sun will age you quickest, quicker than alcohol and smoking, but it's not something to be afraid of. It's just being mindful and
Mindful.
not slathering yourself with baby oil and laying out on the beach all day. That's what we did growing up.
Yes.
And honestly, we didn't know any better, and I didn't really care when I was in high school. Really, I wanted to be tan.
Exactly. You wanted that glow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
same. But all my life, this is what happens to me. I freckle, I burn, I peel, and I go right back to where I was. So it doesn't really matter how much I'm in the sun. Those are still the three things that happen to me.
Yep.
I'm
Exactly. It
still getting
happens
freckles,
sometimes.
yeah. And so I'm the one that comes back after a beach vacation still looking pale. Like I just don't tan. Like I burn and then it peels off and then I'm right back to where I was.
There you go.
So it's just
And
my
sometimes it
skin.
happens. I know, and sometimes it just happens. I mean, you miss the spot and you might get some redness, and unfortunately, sometimes we're not. I always cringe when I see people use the spray one. Anyway, it's a whole different topic, but when they use the spray and it's like going everywhere but on them, and I think to myself, like, you are going to be burnt. And sure enough, 2 hours later, they're like bright red, but who am I to say? Because I don't want them to like attack me for it. But it's like, it's horrible. Like, I'm like, just get a good sunscreen. What's wrong with wiping your hands on a towel after or something? I don't know.
And I feel there's some amazing sunscreens. Like again,
Yeah,
a decade ago, it was like super greasy, uncomfortable. Now there's like
no.
amazing products and it's really easy to find. They're reasonably priced and amazing formulas.
Yeah,
Well, that's good to know
honestly,
because,
books. I think.
depending on where you do your research, there's a lot of products out there that really seem like there's a lot of harsh chemicals. And almost, I was like, was it a couple years ago? There was this big trend that went out about children's sunscreen and that it was causing issues with children who were using this particular sunscreen. And so my daughter, I remember saying, like, I don't even know if I want to put sunscreen on the kids. Like it's dangerous because of all the toxic things that are in them. So
Mhm.
I think there are better formulations now because of that. People are just more aware.
I agree.
And on this topic kind of sun and heat, and then, we said we're in sort of the same sort of climates. But if you're like, and you have seasons, so we have fall, winter, and all that stuff. Is there a skin routine? Should it change with the seasons? Are there things that we should be incorporating that are more beneficial at certain times of the year, like in the colder months and warmer months, that we should do to our skin besides the SPF and things like that?
Yeah, and absolutely. I switch my routine, and our skin does get used to the products that we use. So you kind of want to switch it up for it. So I use for about 6 months out of the year, and the colder months, a little bit heavier moisturizer. Okay, just for the reference, I have normal skin but prone to oil, like so more on the oilier side. But so in the winter months, I do get a little bit drier. I'll use our Blue Dew has a little bit heavier like oils and butters to sustain my skin. And then comes summer, I do lighten up and use something like aloe Verigel, something that's a little bit more with aloe, with humectants, because sun dehydrates us as well. So I want to make sure I have like glycerin in it, and something that's more hydrating for the skin. And I switch my skincare around between like light and heavier cream. Usually the toners will stay the same unless I'm having some kind of skin issues. And my additives and the masks I'll exchange. I like to try different things. So mask I'll, depending on the condition, I'll change it up. But my moisturizers change from heavier to lighter.
What are the benefits of a mask?
So masks are great extracts. It's mechanical exfoliation, but then depending on a mask that you get, will have and ingredients will have some chemical exfoliation. So it's a little bit deeper exfoliation that we
Mhm.
should do, and it helps with our aging. So our skin renews every 28 days. The older we get, it slows down and it can go up to like 45 days. So we have it kind of piling up, but it doesn't refresh as quickly as they used to when we're younger. So when you are manually and chemically exfoliating, you are speeding up the process. And if your cells turn over, you look more youthful and your wrinkles won't be as deep just because you are keeping up with the 28-day cycle. So that's a great little cell turnover
Yeah.
booster. And then again, if you have any skin concerns, like we have 7 different masks to combat whatever you're looking for and
Mhm.
whatever your skin issues and concerns are. We're not geniuses, and it is hard to go like to the store and flip every bottle and know what it means or what it says. So we do have a blog post that explains like what things mean on a label, but then I have an awesome friend, Wendy, and it's just Toxish free. Wendy, she has a free resource and it's how to read actual ingredients and she breaks it down. So if you want, I could like shoot you her link and
Oh, that'd be
resource
great.
for your listeners, and it's just a simple way to break down what to look for on a label. Because you could have a whole episode on just that.
Because there's so many
Yeah.
big worded ingredients, and some of them actually
Mhm.
could be good for you, right? It's just the
Oh,
like
yeah, absolutely.
specific name, right? And sometimes
Hmm.
we may think, oh my God, big words like in food, we're like,
Yeah.
if you don't know what the word, don't eat it, right? So
Hmm.
sometimes like you're like, oh gosh, there's so many big things in here. I don't know if this is going to be the
Hmm.
right thing for my skin. So it's good that we have that, and we will add it into our
You could, yeah, it's just an amazing resource. She has a podcast as well, and it just she kind of breaks it down a little bit easier for common people to be able to read a label.
Yeah, that's good. I know with when people were trying to avoid sugar, the manufacturers got really smart and just started calling their sugars such different things to try and just keep people confused about what was on the food label.
Well, same
Yeah.
thing with skincare. People right now trying to like word it differently, like even fragrance, like go and look, like they'll put everything but what's in it, and then you'll ask what's in it, and they say it's proprietary information, and that could be up to 3,000 different ingredients. Who knows? And it's their might be their trade secrets, so you really don't know what's in it, but they do get very creative of like wording it so it's
Mhm.
not jumping like fragrance in your face.
Yeah, amazing.
Are there any supplements or foods that you can recommend
Mhm.
for like the glowing skin, like or somebody who just wants to start out and they're kind of like, oh, my skin's looking a little flat. Let's say flat. I don't know for better words, but like
Yeah.
not as bright. Coming out of the winter or during the winter months, let's say going into spring, you kind of feel that it's kind of I don't look a little drawn. What is there anything you recommend?
Like antioxidants are huge for your body and your skin. So like berries, leafy greens, omegas. I love my collagen. So I think Dabney, we talked about like drinking bone broth.
Yeah.
I do have a I finally found collagen and peptides, a little powder that's tasteless, and I could add to like a smoothie or I like overnight oats. So I'll add that. So it's by just ingredients. It's tasteless. I trust the company, good sourcing of collagen. So little things like that that we could add that will be really, really highly beneficial for your body, but also for your skin. And like, omegas and like oils, good source of oils.
Mhm. And in your professional opinion, what what percentage would you say impacts as far as dietary stuff? Because Sabrina and I talk a lot about food and nutrition and how whole body health is really starts with what you put in your mouth. What impact does whole eating versus maybe people who don't eat all that great? What impact does that have on the skin?
If I had to guess, I would say like 80% is what you eat because it's like inflammation in your body. So if you don't have inflammation in your body, you don't have gut issues. Our skin is the biggest organ, and this is how your body talks to you, how it signals by a rash. Something comes out, so it signals that there's an issue. And unfortunately, most of the time it comes out on our face. So when we're treating acne, like food is your number one. Like your sugar, dairy will be your top things for acne. So we could give you the most advanced like peels and treatments here, but if you don't change your diet, we're just gonna band-aid. It'll be great for now, but like in a month, you're gonna come back looking the same. So diet has majority effect on our body
Yeah.
and skin.
Wow. Pretty
Hmm
amazing. Really, it really is amazing.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't think about your skin as your organ. You just, it's there, but it's actually your biggest organ.
Great. Well,
and
and just the things we touch, the toxic things, the cleaners, the shampoos, like it's all being absorbed into our body and our livers
And
having
yeah,
to deal with it, our kidneys, like every piece of our body is getting a little bit of whatever it is we're touching. And
and that's free radicals all over us. Like you go outside, like you can't, even if you do 100%, the minute you step outside, it's all gone. So like high antioxidants in your skincare and in your food that will combat the free radicals.
I was going to ask you, this is kind of a question that we had for you, but like trends, but is like
Mhm.
I've heard more and more about the lymphatic facials. And speaking of organs and taking care of your skins and how things build up, is it a trend or is it something that we should look into and doing lymphatic massages or facials on our like
Yeah.
on us?
Oh, lymphatic is amazing. Like, and if I do lymphatic massage and you hear and do before and after, it's like huge difference. So,
Really?
ma majority of our lymph nodes are actually in our shoulders, neck, and head. So, and if they get clogged up, and this is how we detox our body. So, moving that lymph will help your puffiness, like dark circles. It'll help with that. And lymph moves super, super slow and it's right under our skin. So it takes like whatever I would do in a massage, I will move about 24 hours ahead. So it would have taken you about 24 hours to move it. Well,
Oh,
what I could do in a couple of minutes just through our manual lymph um, so I think trends like, and I hope I don't think it's a trend that's going to stay because some of the podcasts I listen to, and some even like doctors now go towards massage and working on lymph, our muscles and our fascia. So I don't think it's a trend. I think it's here to stay because you just see huge results. But again, you have to remember it's a muscle. It's kind of like going to the gym. If you go to the gym once a year, great. Like you might be sore next day, but you're not going to have the results. And same thing with the older we get, we lose our bones and we lose our muscle mass. So you want to work those muscles to keep the shape and then also to be able to not release all the tension. And it's amazing what a massage would do. And Debney could probably testify to that. She gets them done pretty often.
I do.
Is
Yeah, they're great.
is it like as you said, is it better to do what's the like a facial and or a massage? I don't know because I don't know if you do both, but if
Yeah,
you were to go for a facial, how many times or what's the protocol? How many per
yeah.
year
So
or
typically you want to go like once a month because
once a month?
massages
Okay.
you could do daily to yourself. You
Okay.
could do a daily massage. If you have a good esthetician, they will combine massage with some lymph nodes because it just goes hand in hand. And I like to open up. I like to do the full massage, and at the end, I'd like to kind of drain it all. So A good esthetician will know that and hopefully will perform all of it. You may or may not know because you're just zen out on a table, but we usually I start with lymphatic and then I kind of take it down at the end. And you would work all of it. I recommend to come once a month, and then also 80% of how you're going to look is going to home care and what you do at home. So if you're
Right.
applying your serum and you could do a little bit of lifting movements, that will kind of train your muscle. And you don't have to do it for an hour every day, but couple minutes when you're applying your moisturizer, that's kind of like going to the gym. Obviously, we like yawn and our face expressions and we stretch, so kind of naturally already do those things, but it's not enough. So just helping lifting and working against the gravity a little bit will help you age gracefully. But before and afters after massage are incredible. And it's we have like all the end nerves on the top of our head, so getting like all your scalp massaged is just really beneficial for your lifting and for the how you're going to look, but also just your overall health. And we carry all of our tension in our neck,
Yeah.
shoulders, and our head, really.
Mhm.
That's the truth. That's definitely the truth.
Yeah. Irina does a great job with the massage. And I know for a fact that she does the lymphatics because, well, number one, I felt it there toward the end, but yeah, she really massages the facial muscles really well. And she gets my little crow's feet or laugh lines, whatever you want to call them, like they always look better and um less visible when I leave. So yeah, she works all that. And then when I'm in the shower, like I sit and try to remember, like, what did she do? I want to keep doing that
Hmm.
so that I can just keep up with it. So
Hmm.
I
yeah,
think we talked about like dry brushing too, and because we
we
were
did.
talking about lymphatics
Mhm.
and we talked about dry brushing and getting into the habit of doing it. And even when you do it, I've started to get back into it since we did our podcast, and you can feel your skin almost like tingle, right? Like you
Hmm.
feel that sensation of it kind of like doing this. It's kind of a fun feeling. I'm like, oh, this feels so like you feel like it energized. I don't know, something interesting about it, but
Well, yeah, you're getting your lymph and your fluids going, but you're also like exfoliating your skin, so it's amazing for your skin.
yeah.
And with dry brushing, you want to start at your feet and kind of work your way towards the heart.
Okay, so you go towards the heart. I was going away, so I was doing it wrong, but
Yeah, so I
long
usually
term.
start from the bottom, from like your feet, and you kind of go upwards. And you could kind
Okay.
of go either circular, like a soft, or
Right.
just going like a swiping little motions.
Right.
And you want to be super, super gentle with it because our lymph literally is like right after the skin. So you don't need to do any hard pressure. It's like feather, like super, super light to stimulate them. Because if you go a little bit deeper, you'll be working with your fascia, and a little bit more deeper is your muscle. So
Right.
like a feather, like very, very soft.
And when you get to the heart, then do you keep going up or do you
Yep.
go like when
So
you have to do this part, do you go down like I'm
you
talking
want to kind
okay,
of
listeners,
I
neck down, like from your neck, do you go neck up or do you go neck towards the heart?
So I first go up, but I also
Okay.
know how to like stimulate them, and then we
Right.
kind of go down
Okay.
because we exit. So this
From
side of the
here.
face exits by like right will be right color by collarbone, and then
Okay.
left will be on the right, and then after that you want to exit them towards your
Okay.
armpits.
Mhm.
So it kind of goes up and then down into here,
Okay.
into armpits. And that's where kind of their exit. And
Very
if you
cool.
have a massage therapist that could do like a full body lymphatic, oh, that's amazing. Like I try to get one here and there to stay on top of my entire body.
It's hard to find. I tried to look for because my naturopath said you should try and go for a lymphatic massage. So I found somebody who does a facial, so that's coming up. But massage was hard, but I think I found someone kind of led me in the right direction. And then an
Yeah.
osteopath said she does some movements that she could release some of the lymph, but it's not quite a
Mhm.
massage. So I said, well, maybe let me try one thing first and then I'll
Yeah.
incorporate that because I think what I really need is a lymphatic massage. So
Usually massage therapists will do it if it's not on the menu. If you call, they might do,
I don't
and
know
they
how.
usually use like castor oil with it.
Mhm.
And it's super light unless they find like and decide to dig into it, then it kind of does hurt.
Castor oil is
Love
amazing.
it. I feel like we
Yeah.
could talk about all this forever and ever. I mean, we should have like a
Oh yeah.
two-part Yeah, there's so much to talk
For
about the
two.
skin, and people are, like interested in it. And there's so many little things that you can, you don't know, and people have questions. And who do you go to? Because it's hard to trust because if you go to like someone who does facial, I mean, you trust, but then, what products are they selling? Are they selling good products? Do you really know?
Mhm.
You trust that they do, but there's so much out there, like you said, there's so much greenwashing and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to hear different perspectives, right? So.
It's educating ourselves and like trying to do better. Like I wouldn't want, especially anybody starting out, to be like, oh my goodness, I need to get rid of everything and I need to do all of these things because it's not sustainable and it's overwhelming. But it's just like making daily choices that will affect like your overall health and the way you age, and just making better choices where it's possible.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you what's one piece of advice you would give, and it sounds like you just did, is just start small. Just start with one thing.
Yep.
So if it was just one thing, what's the one thing you think would make the biggest impact?
So if I'm somebody who've never heard of toxic ingredients and I haven't switched anything in my house, I'd probably start with oral health because that's where we're absorbed and it goes like straight into our bloodstream. So I would first look into my dental things, so like my mouthwash, your toothpaste, and I would that would be my first thing that I would change. And then I would go into obviously what I eat and get rid of like processed foods and then skincare and your other body care and your routines. But I would start with your mouth and your diet.
Wow, that's
Nice.
amazing. That's amazing.
Just being
Well,
honest. I mean, you can
yeah.
start with the skincare, but if you want to make a bigger impact, like I would, those are kind of the stages where how I
Mhm.
would personally do it.
Yeah,
Thank you for reconfirming what we do and say all the time, right, Dabney? Like she just, you
absolutely.
heard it. We didn't, this was not, we did not bribe her to say this or
You
anything,
No.
did
just for
not.
the record. She said it on
Mhm.
her own. So she
Well,
knows she's got the masters. We're just,
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and what you won't know or don't know right now, is Irina was a dental assistant
oh,
before she
Mhm.
is who all the wonderful things she is now. And she actually does something called buccal massage. And I've actually sent a few of my patients over to see her, because she actually puts on gloves and really works that buccal, master muscle to
That's
really help relieve like TMD issues that people often have. Usually it's women because we hold a lot of tension in our head and our neck, because we are trying to do all the things.
Mhm. Yeah, dental was my first thing, right, in high school and out of high school. I wasn't practicing holistic at the time. I didn't even know anything about it really. But now that I've learned,
Mhm.
that's kind of your first step. And then yeah, masseters, our chewing muscles, are probably the hardest working muscles in our face and body. We chew, we sleep, we grind our teeth, and we naturally stretch them. Like, yawning is a great stretch for it. But then we also hold so much tension. So releasing that will help with your face and also your neck, and you just feel the tension melt away like instantly, and like also helps with like headaches.
Yeah. Amazing. So tell us about some products that you have coming on board, because I know you've been
Mhm.
working for a little while to try and get some new products out. So what do we have to look forward to with Simplicity?
So this is like our going on third year working on these six amazing products that are coming. And I feel like they're super innovative. And we are working more on like microbiome of your skin and how to protect that and different with ages. So we're trying to focus on different decades of our life cycle and what our skin needs. So that's going to be like what the products are. We're hoping to launch them here pretty soon. And they're pretty amazing, but stay
I can't
tuned.
wait. I can't wait. I just can't wait. So, and that's exactly what we need. We need products that help us where we are
Yeah.
hormonally, with our aging process, the things that, because my skin is very different than it was 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
10 years before
absolutely.
that, and 10 years before that. So yeah, through
Mhm.
the decades, it's a wonderful way to really think about how do you care for your skin.
And
So yeah.
again, we were also mindful of like making it simple for people. So one of the products, actually, I'll let you know, it's like I call it IV for the skin. So it's barrier and beyond, but it's packed like with so many vitamins. It's a water-based serum with literally all the vitamins your skin needs. So that's like one of my favorite things that will be coming out.
How exciting.
Right.
And everything
Hmm.
smells amazing. You should know.
Hmm. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice that you ship because I can look into the product and everything. So that'll be great.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh yeah.
excited.
Well, Irina, thank you so much for helping us understand more about skin health and how to protect ourselves and helping us be able to age more gracefully and not stop aging, but just, meet us where we are and maybe just slow some of the things down and just really protect our skin as we are going through the aging processes. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. And if anybody wants to reach you, do they just do you have a website? We'll share it in our show notes, but can
Yep,
you
it's
tell them your
with
website?
it's withSimplicityBeauty.com. And then from there you could find our spa and everything else.
Yep.
And do you do any online? I know it's hard to do online, but do you do any online consultations, or can someone just reach out to you for information, or can I do a consultation with you over an online sort of video chat?
They could right now just go to the info and contact us on our website, and somebody will be able to respond to any of their needs. We will have a feature soon where you could have a consultation personally with me or one of our estheticians, but right now you're going to have with one of our customer service ladies, but they usually come to us, and so it'll
Okay,
be from us, but they won't be live chat yet. We're working
great.
on that with our new skincare coming out. We'll be able to do that.
Amazing. Well,
Yep.
congratulations, and thank you for
Thanks.
taking time to talk to us. I know you're very busy, and we really appreciate it.
No, thank you, and I appreciate all the work you ladies do.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Mhm.